In Missouri, they're actually having to warn people against fighting with bears?
What? Most people don't need to hear this, but police in Missouri are reminding folks not to wrestle bears. A black bear has been spotted wandering around the city of Salem, so the police department posted a warning on its social media page not to touch, feed, or wrestle it. Bear wrestling is illegal there. It's considered a misdemeanor in Missouri. And for the record, there are no reports of anyone actually trying to, but one guy wrote he might, so have a warrant ready, which is why police say they're monitoring the situation closely.
Oh, doggone it. No more wrestling with bears? What are we going to do? Next, they'll be telling us we can no longer play hopscotch with an elephant. Dang! What's this world coming to? When's news time? 4:18.
Compassion is a very important word, especially in today's world. The need for a very special kind of compassion becomes especially poignant within the tenets of the Jewish tradition and Jewish funeral service. Riverside Memorial Chapel, the largest source of Jewish funeral professionals in the New York area, has set the standard for that very special kind of compassion and trust since 1897. For generations, leaders from Charles Rosenthal to Charles Solomon have practiced their beliefs that Jewish funeral service is not merely a business, but a solemn trust to the families they serve. Compassion is the most important word, and the understanding of the true meaning of the word compassion as it relates to individual needs is what has made Riverside Memorial Chapel the source of support for the Jewish people since 1897. Call 212-362-6600 or visit riversidememorialchapel.com.
For adults with moderate to severe plaque psoriasis who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy, now there's Skyrizi, Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection. With Skyrizi, 3 out of 4 people achieve 90% clear skin at 4 months, and Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Nothing on me go hand in hand. Nothing on my skin, that's my new plan. Nothing is
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms, such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine. With Skyrizi, you could achieve 90% clear skin. Ask your doctor about the #1 dermatologist prescribed biologic in psoriasis and visit Skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
What are you waiting for? 1010 Wins is now on 92.3 FM and crystal clear audio.
All news, all the time. This is 1010 Wins at 92.3 FM. You give us 22 minutes, we'll give you the world.
We will give you a partly sunny sky and 74 degrees. At 4:20, I'm Larry Mullins, and here's what's happening today. We'll get more. Mayor Adams' plan to work with places of worship now to house migrants. So far, 50 churches have signed on, offering a space for at least 1,000 asylum seekers, but the mayor says we really need more. They're already discussing it in California, but now New York lawmakers joining the list of states where, well, they're pondering reparations to blacks. Tonight, they're discussing the idea of a vote by this weekend. Also today, health officials cut the ribbon on the first public health vending machine. It looks like a normal vending machine, but oh no, there's no soda in there, or chips, or candy bar, but overdose drugs and safe sex kits. The RIC Guidelines Board meeting tonight, starting at 5, early registration over, so you have to just go down there to register on site if you really want to say something. This is the first of several meetings. And Apple preparing to roll out one of the biggest product launches since the Apple Watch. Stick around, we'll tell you more about a headset that's supposed to be a hot ticket. In fact, so hot, it'll burn a hole in your pocket, the price point on the thing. 1010 Wins Acura with a cloudy sky. Pleasant and mild tonight, though, dropping to a low of 61 degrees. Wednesday, start 421 from your Mercedes-Benz of Edison.com Traffic Center. Here's Greg Wright.
Now we're halfway done with the trouble at the George. Inbound upper level, that earlier crash right around midspan is gone. It left behind a 15 to 20 minute ride on the upper level, closer to 10 minutes on the inbound lower. Bigger trouble is outbound George under the apartments. Upper level with a wreck in the right lane and a standstill on every approach to the outbound upper level into the apartments, which means that the West Side Highway, which doesn't go under the apartments, is the best and only good way of getting you out of town. Lincoln Tunnel is about 15 to 20 minutes in. Outbound side of the Lincoln Tunnel is about 15 to 20 as well. Closer to 30 at the outbound Holland. Inbound Holland, no more than about 10 minutes. Northbound Van Wyck Whitestone combo awful from the L line to the Whitestone Bridge. Queensbound Whitestone starting to slow across the span as well. So the Clearview Throgsneck combination, that's a better ride in either direction. Eastbound Long Island Expressway looks like we've got some trouble. East of Route 106 and 107 getting you home through Nassau County on the jam cams. Trying to figure out what this is, but what it does is make the eastbound LI awful. From Glen, Cove Road past Jericho Turnpike and past Route 106 and 107 northern state of Nassau. If you're not in the truck, perfect. Not perfect, but a whole lot better. Westbound through Freeport, we are hearing about massive delays on Merrick Road, less so on Sunrise Highway because of closures near Mill Road and South Main Street. So again, a whole lot of gridlock west of the Meadowbrook, especially on Merrick Road through Freeport. Traffic is sponsored by the U.S. Open. I'm Greg Rice, 1010 wins on 92.3 FM.
Spectacular awaits at the 2023 U.S. Open Tennis Championship. See the biggest tennis stars on the sport's biggest stage. August 28th through September 10th. Tickets on sale now at usopen.org.
He says it's not a forever stay, it's only temporary. Plus, more and more people are pouring in as fast as they can open a center, but Mayor Adams has somehow managed to find more space to house asylum seekers. How about sending them to church? Yeah, he's initiated a plan which has so far recruited about 50 churches to help with the heavy lifting on this. Julia Papa with more on the latest desperate move to find space for migrants here.
Mayor Adams is urging more faith-based organizations to get on board a plan to house migrants. He announced 50 locations in all 5 boroughs.
It's cheaper than hotels. It's going to cost us about $125 a night. It's far cheaper than what we pay in emergency hotels.
These locations will house 1,000 asylum seekers. The mayor admits the buses keep coming.
I'm not drinking out of a water hose. I'm drinking out of a fire hose. And we are managing it.
He's looking at the possibility of using private homes, subsidized by the city. He's asked President Biden for a face-to-face meeting. He says the challenge is unsustainable. At City Hall, Juliet Papa, 1010 wins on 92.3 FM.
Yeah, and those church homes, by the way, are for overnight stays, but the program is also working out arrangements to provide daytime space for those who need support, the support they need to navigate New York. New Jersey lawyers been charged with sexually assaulting 4 women in Boston nearly 16 years ago now. 35-year-old Matthew Nilo of Weehawken pleaded not guilty in a Boston court today to rape, kidnapping, and assault charges. New DNA evidence led to his arrest last week. Prosecutors say Nilo had been living in Boston at the time, raped 3 women, and attempted to rape another who fought back and ran off. Investigators last year identified Nilo as a person of interest by using genetic genealogy to narrow the pool of potential suspects. The FBI had been following him and recovered a drinking glass he used at a corporate event earlier this year. Aha! DNA from that glass matched DNA from the victims. Do you see that? His attorney argues the DNA was not obtained legally since investigators never had a search warrant. Nilo being held on $500,000 bail. He's been suspended from his job at a New York-based cybersecurity company. A renewed state effort to address reparations for black New Yorkers.
Former state assemblyman, now city councilman Charles Barron, was the original sponsor of the bill and is urging lawmakers to support the renewed effort by Brooklyn State Senator Jabari Brisport.
And I would say that people of African descent, there are 3 million of us in New York State, 2 million of us in New York City, all should be eligible.
Brisport's bill would create a commission to study the issue and make a recommendation to the governor. But Barron is opposed to it being made up entirely of elected officials. He says the community should be involved.
We can allow you to determine what the compensation should be for the violations of our human rights that this state committed.
Marla Diamond, 1010 wins on 92.3 FM.
Wednesday News Time 426, and now Bloomberg Money Watch, and here is Andrew O'Day.
Wall Street came off a Friday rally with a mostly split decision for most of the day, but we finish across the board lower. Dow down 200, NASDAQ down 11, S&P 500 today down 9. Intel is on the outs. Today the company got the news it's been bracing for over the past several years. At its Worldwide Developer Conference, Apple said today that no more Mac computers will be made with Intel chips. All will be made in-house. Of course, Apple's biggest news from everyone's standpoint, except Intel's, was its big mixed reality headset unveiling. Shares of Apple, though, ended down almost 1% after that.
Digital audio streamer Spotify will lay off about 200 employees, mostly in its podcast division. And more cuts are expected in finance and talent acquisition. Spotify looks to make budgetary room for a new push into talk programming. Twitter is still struggling to get its former mojo back with advertisers. An internal company review of ad revenue seen by the New York Times shows that Twitter's ad sales remain down 59% versus a year earlier. Bloomberg Money Watch at 26 and 56 past every hour. Amanda Rowe Day, 1010 wins on 92.3 FM.
Glenn's News Time, 427.
Hello, I'm Howard Mackler, founder of Innovation Refunds. You've heard me talking about the payroll tax refund for months. I'm so proud that we've helped over 15,000 businesses claim over $5 billion in cash incentives. If you own a business, even if you've asked your CPA about this, you owe it to yourself to take another look. Every client is assigned a licensed and insured tax attorney who evaluates your company at my expense to accurately determine eligibility. Innovation Refunds has hundreds of 5-star reviews on Trustpilot and Google, and your business might be entitled to receive up to $26,000 per employee. Businesses of all types can qualify, including medical, professional, construction, even nonprofits. Please don't miss out on this. Even your doctor would tell you to get an expert second opinion, and we do a lot of work for doctors. Download the Innovation Refunds app now or go to getrefunds.com to potentially get a payroll tax refund of $26,000 per employee. GetRefunds.com. GetRefunds.com.
Let's face it, your company is still feeling the financial effects of the pandemic. And if you own a restaurant, dental practice, or other small business that persevered through lockdown, a quick phone call to Omega Accounting Solutions can be a game changer. Omega Accounting Solutions is an established, respected accounting firm, helping businesses like yours receive the ERC tax credit. Unlike CPAs and others who may not grasp all the complexities of ERC, Omega's experts are fully trained to understand ERC qualifications and simplify the application process. Learn in less than 10 minutes if you are a good candidate. Call Omega even if you've applied for other pandemic assistance in the past. If your company employed 5 to 500 employees during the COVID crisis and continue to pay payroll taxes, you may be eligible to receive a refund of up to $26,000 per employee. Running a small business is challenging enough. Trust Omega Accounting Solutions to help claim the tax credits you deserve. Call now 1-800-300-9ERC or online at OmegaTaxCredits.com. The phone number again, 1-800-39ERC. That's 1-800-300-9372.
Don't become another victim. Protect your home and family with the Foreman Shield. Call 833-933-SAFE. Foreman, now celebrating 100 years. Call 833-933-SAFE.
Hey, I want to thank everybody for coming out yesterday to the big pet adoption in Union Square, sponsored by Petco. We had the best time. Susan Richard was there, along with Linda Lopez. Our producer, Noah Keynes, was there holding down the fort. Even one of the bosses came down, Ivan Lee, with his dog, Kiki. You should have seen it. We had an obstacle course for the dogs, had a fashion show. Only thing, my dog got stage fright, got up there and started sashaying across the stage, and Coco just stopped in mid-sash. AccuWeather says tonight partly cloudy, not quite as cool as the past few nights. We'll get to a low of 61. Good afternoon. I'm Larry Mullins. When's news time? At the Tone, 4:30.
Good afternoon, I'm Lori Madden. A new vending machine is making its debut in Ocean Hill, Brooklyn, but you won't find candy and chips here.
At the corner of Decatur and Broadway, the blue vending machine has naloxone kits, fentanyl drug testing strips, and other safety and hygiene items. All you need is a New York City zip code.
Every 3 hours, we're losing a New Yorker, and it looks like 2022 is on track to be our highest year ever in overdoses.
Health Commissioner Dr. Ashwin Vasan says this is the first of 4 machines placed in neighborhoods with the greatest need in partnership with community groups like SUS, which will maintain this one. Rebecca Walton is the clinical director.
I know people personally who've used these kits, and if they're in people's hands and they know that there's a friendly face whenever they come here, they go to the office down the block, then they're much more likely when they're ready to come in for services.
Samantha Liebman, 1010 wins on 92.3 FM in Ocean Hill, Brooklyn.
Weekday time, 4:31. Time now for traffic and transit with Greg Wright.
Now, Lori, getting nastier in Nassau County. Eastbound LI getting out to South Oyster Bay Road. That's a crash in the right lane. It's already got you backed up in fits and starts from Queens. Here's the story. Eastbound LI was already bad from the BQE out to Nassau County, and then it just all stays bad to South Oyster Bay Road with this crash popping up in the right lane. Westbound LI, everybody's getting nosy, and it's getting slower from the Seaford Oyster Bay. It is better in either direction, but not perfect. perfect on the Northern State Parkway, Southern State eastbound bunched up to Baldwin Road, again from before Newbridge Road all the way to the Bethpage State Parkway. Here's what you need to know about the bridges and tunnels. Citybound George upper level earlier crash is gone. They've also gotten rid of the wreck on the outbound upper under the apartments, just too little too late. Aside from the west side, which doesn't go under the apartments, everything else just abysmal to the outbound George. Lincoln Tunnel, we're looking at